This guy has a lot of hours on Lesion and is one of the most popular Lesion players on the entire planet, but how did he get here? Well, the first thing you need to understand about Lesion as an operator is that he is amazing and always has been, especially right now. The reason for this being is that his gadget is very easy to use with a low skill floor, but it's also extremely versatile and impactful for the defense, especially in today's meta. It's great for information, time wasting, and countering the shield meta that has been rampant in the later part of this season. Lesion, even since release, has always been this powerful too. His mines used to do even more damage, and at some point were invisible as well. Not to mention, he had impact grenades, even better for countering shields, and right now has a super shorty for sight setup. For an operator to be this impactful with such a low barrier of entry to be good at, it's zero surprise that our Lesion main of today's video picked up Lesion in the first place. The biggest thing I learned from talking to the Lesion player was that Lesion is much more of a passive information operator than a kill-hungry trap operator like most people think he is. While Lesion mines slow people down and do damage to them, a big part of Lesion is actually just listening to the loud sound that Lesion mines make, and either wasting time with your crosshair at where they might pop up after they hit the Lesion mine, or just leaving the room entirely and doing it all over again to waste even more time like a roamer should. This is why Lesion is so good specifically. You can get information for kills or waste a bunch of time with no danger to you at all, and either way, the choice is yours. Playing Lesion looks a lot less like getting kills and a lot more like this. As you can see, the first thing that he does right here is he puts a Lesion mine on the left side of the doorway. He doesn't put it in the middle, he puts it on the left because they're no longer invisible. This gives any information onto anybody pushing in luggage so that he can swing when he plays an Aqua later. Now, he does get a kill onto this Amaru, but only because he hears the rush and he figures it's a free kill. He's not really being aggressive here. Then he throws a second Lesion mine on a staircase. He doesn't throw it in the middle of the staircase, he throws it in the corner so that they can't really see it if they're looking for it, but he'll still get the information regardless. This is how you want to play Lesion. You don't want to be stacking them up, you don't want to be putting them in the middle of doorways, literally just put them on the corners of things and you will get passive information. He does die here, not really because he's being aggressive or playing incorrectly, he just unfortunately lost the gunfight. Playing Lesion well also looks like this. Now, as you can see, he's holding a very passive angle. As Lesion, you want to be passive, that's the name of the game. Because he's holding a passive angle, he gets info on an attacker and tries to get a free pre-fire. It works out for him greatly. This isn't him being aggressive just because he got a kill, he's actually still playing passive here. He then uses information to get another 2 free kills with this run out right here. Again, this is not him being aggressive. He got a call out for this information. If you ever have information on somebody and they don't know where you are, you always want to be going for that kill. He's not being weird here, that's just how you play the game. Now he's in a 1v2. He hears a call out for blue bar and a call out for cool vibes. Again, holding a passive angle into blue bar, not playing aggressive. That's how you play Lesion. He also has a goo mine right here. He pre-fires here, and then he hears the goo mine. He then pre-fires again. He then looks at cool vibes. The Lesion goes off on cool vibes. He's able to swing and get the kill here, amounting to an ace with Lesion, because all he did was hold passive angles and swing off of his Lesion mines and swing off of information. It might have seemed a bit aggressive, but he did everything textbook perfectly. This is a masterclass on how to play Lesion. Now, like I said earlier, Lesion has had a lot of updates. Some of these updates completely changed how Lesion needs to play and place down his traps. Now, because they're not invisible, you have to put them on the side of doorways instead of in the middle of them like you used to be able to. The same can be said for staircases too. Because of the damage increase, it's encouraged to stack them if you know they're for sure pushing one area and you have some mines left over. Whereas when his mines did less damage or no initial damage at all and were invisible, you couldn't viably do this. And all of this to say that Lesion has seen a lot of changes, making it at least a little hard for any existing Lesion mains to be able to learn and effectively play Lesion in the first place every time a new update dropped. This, however, didn't stop our Lesion main of the video, Athieno, from doing just that. Athieno is a Siege content creator with around 1 million followers across all of his platforms. He's an ex-semi-professional player and an amazing Lesion player as well. But that's enough about talking about him. Let's go straight into the interview and talk to him instead. Alright, so we have Athieno here. How we doing? How we doing?
I'm chilling.
Okay, so what is one tip that you could give to aspiring Lesion players or like anybody that's trying to get into Lesion that they might not know? Like an underrated tip.
Underrated tip. I mean, he's pretty straightforward operator. He's like how you play many other operators, which is like map denial and like information. So I think a lot of people don't see Lesion as map control. If I put a Lesion mine in one room or one door frame and it doesn't go off, it means I have control of that room. or I don't need to worry about it. So I can isolate different parts of the map a lot easier, and I can keep more of my focus there without having to worry about, oh, is someone behind me or something like that. So it's really just, you gotta understand Legion's a map control operator and obviously information, so you can cover a lot of ground with Legion.
Yeah, that's a really good way of putting it. I know on certain maps like Basement of Nighthaven Labs or whatever, like most people do not know that map, so just having Legion mines around so you can just watch one place and not have to worry about the map is actually a pretty good point. I also know that there's other trap operators that kind of work similarly. So do you think that being good at Legion carries over to like other trap operators like Capcan, Thorn, or Frost, or are those just completely different playstyles?
100%. I mean, if you think about it, Legion, like his way he uses gadget is like sound queue operator, or like way I see it in traps in general. No matter what operator it is, the trap should have first contact before I do. So if my back is towards a room, the Legion mine should go off before I even like have a chance to like do anything. So yeah, I think it's a good habit to have to like, because then that forces you to have sound queue of it. You can understand which parts of the map you can isolate, which I mean is ultimately what high ranks usually do, is they know what parts of the map control are important, which parts are not important, and the ones that are important they would use Legion mines or traps or thorn mines or beepers or whatever. But yeah, I think Siege is a big sound queue game, even though the faintest, I think what's really good about Legion is that there is a very loud sound queue.
Right.
Like barbed wire, you put barbed wire somewhere, but someone's either walk through it or it can get masked by like gun sounds.
Yeah, that's why I use proximity alarms too on operators, where it's like you can either bring prox alarms or barbed wire, because I feel like if I'm solo queuing, I know my teammates are not paying attention to sound cues, so I want to bring something that's like super loud, and Legion mines are like hella loud. They're really good for information. I completely agree.
Yeah, I guess what I would say is trap placement. You know, you can't put a Legion mine in the middle of doorways anymore because they'll get shot really easily, and sometimes someone shoots one singular bullet, I'm not going to hear that, and I could get flanked. So
Right.
that's why Legion, any trap placement is very key. A trap placement should either be placed for sound cue, or it should be placed at the raw for crosshair placement, like a thorn mine or a Malusi gadget. If you put that on the opposite side of a common doorway spot on a door, then you force them to. It is like one, like a trap placement can like easily like 180 their push. So that's why you gotta like understand how to use traps correctly and not like super shallow on the site setup.
Yeah, and you mentioned that Legion mines aren't invisible anymore, but the added trade-off there is like they have so much activation range now that you can get away with just putting it on the side of a doorway and not in the middle of a doorway, and it's still gonna trap them. Like it's still gonna activate. So it's really good.
I think that the Legion mines have always had that proximity range. It's just that people weren't able to see the gadget radius. So even if you did back in the day put it on a doorway like that,
I was thinking that
probably
too.
Wouldn't, people just would run into the same way. But I don't, unless they said in the patch notes, I don't think there was any radius buff to the new mines. It was just a trajectory.
That makes sense.
Kind of like a view jammer almost.
Well, now that we're talking about the Legion rework, what are your actual thoughts? Or not like a rework, but like what are your thoughts of the state of Legion right now after he got that huge overhaul?
Still S tier, super strong. I mean, I think operators that last very long in the round, like Wamai, compared to like Jaeger. Jaeger, I mean, is good, but you know, you're stuck to those 3 spots. But Wamai, you're very adaptable. Same thing with Legion. You know, if you wanted to, you could pick them up, but you don't have time for that. You know, you get what I think almost 6 to 7 Legion mines the entire round. So you start out with like I think about 2 or 3,
right?
And as time goes on, it's like you know, you're just getting like infinite gadget glitch almost. So I think Legion's definitely still S tier with the super shorty. They could take away his impact grenades, but super shorty. Impact grenades were really just for like lazy rotations, dealing with Osa or whatever, or Monty, but
and even then he doesn't
part,
need that. Like he's Legion, he can deal with the Monty super easily. Like I don't think that's that big of a nerf. I agree.
With having a super shorty, he can still make rotates, which anyone that has a bailiff or a super shotgun or super shorty is gonna be like A to S, maybe B, but yeah, the rotations is in high ranks. You got to set up sight, so he's fine. Even without the impact grenades, he's okay. He's not gonna. He still has a bulletproof gadget or bulletproof camera, which is still fine.
Yeah, I agree. Well, I mean, we've gone over like why Lesion is good, why it might carry over to other operators, but what actually specifically got you as a player into Lesion as opposed to literally just any other operator in the game?
I wonder why, to be honest. It's not like we share the same ethnicity or we look alike, but I guess it's just common. Like, I just happen to like his trap more than other people.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, to be honest, that's the honest answer.
He's one of those operators that's really, really easy to get into. Like, absolutely zero skill floor. You pick him up, you're gonna be useful at him. Like, he's just super easy to play.
Yeah, there's a reason why they call it the e-girl operator. I never knew that was a thing.
I didn't either.
It's like a super easy character. You don't like, you can turn off your brain and just like, yeah, you get kills by just looking at it on accident.
The e-girl operator is insane. That's funny. We mentioned
high skill operator, they're not gonna do shit.
Yeah.
I mean, debatable on who we're talking to, but you know, some of them are okay. But it's more of just for new players in general, not just, it's just like a term, but yeah, like new players, I mean, yeah.
Well, the last question, we talked about the state of like Lesion being able to counter shields and whatnot. I think he's a really good shield counter. What do you think about the current state of shields after the shield rework and like where Lesion might fit into that?
Well, shields right now are a lot more popular. Even with the shield rework, I don't know. I think the shield rework was okay, but I think shield, I mean, Blitz can still sprint. It's just they can't like lucky hip fire anymore. The punch pushback is pretty nice. The vaulting stuff, vaulting through barricades makes this shield's quality of life, shields easier.
Right.
But it doesn't really change how they approach traps. So Legion's still the same way, you know. Shields have always been, you had to back up, take it out, same with any other operator. But I think Legion's still, he's still a strong pick against, if you're going against an annoying shield main, the first thing that comes to mind would be either like Smoke, Lesion, Oryx, any kind of like just trap operator that can stop them from playing so aggressive. Capkin as well. So yeah, he fits well, but he's got to be careful. If you're facing him against a shield, I would recommend actually putting shallow Lesion mines and like baiting them to run to you, because they'll chase after you, but then they hit a Lesion mine and they're gonna stop. So, put them on like tight doorways and so that way the invisibility doesn't have to affect anything. Like if you put Lesion mines just like Capkin mines, everyone should know how to do that. Put it on the door frame. Anyone like with a normal hitbox is gonna hit that Lesion mine regardless, because it's at least half of the doorway, and they'll hit it pretty easy. So Legion's a solid pick against shields.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I agree. I think even arguably like Legion's probably stronger against shields now that they're so much more fast paced, just because of the fact that like even if there is a Lesion, some Monties don't care. They're just gonna run right through it because of the things that you mentioned, right? You can go through barricades, you can run at people with your shield in front of your face. It's just a more aggressive play style that fits Lesion super well and can punish people if they're just not looking for his mind. So I agree 100%.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, Lesion literally takes away their ability to sprint, which
Right.
is like most of what the shield rework is about. You can sprint, like everyone can sprint like Blitz now, basically.
Right, and he has so many mines too that you have so many opportunities to be able to stop sprinting that it just wastes hella time on Lesion, which is really, really powerful.
Yeah.
Well, everybody, that was Athieno. Athieno, I appreciate your time for the interview. Thank you for talking to me, man.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Of course. Atheeno's links are going to be down in the description if anybody wants to check him out. But that is it for this video. Check out this next video, and I'll see you in the next one. Later.